A dynasty in motion, reshaping the sport's greatest tradition, channeling the legends of his line and surpassing them. 4 of the last 6 Derby winners carry his genes. A Golden Son, a Horse of the Year. Another chapter written beneath those iconic spires. Derby dreams fulfilled for the titans of our industry. From authentic to sovereignty, a legacy both real and supreme. Into mischief.
Hello everybody, Mike Welch coming to you from Saratoga with the first of Deli Racing Form's Belmont Stakes Festival workout reports brought to you by Spendthrift Farm, the home of 6-time reigning General Sire Into Mischief, whose sovereignty became his record-tying 3rd Kentucky Derby winner just last month. And we will obviously talk about sovereignty. We are going to start with a look today of what's been transpiring here and around the country with the prospective 8 starters in the Belmont Stakes, and then as we move forward, we'll look at some of the other major races that will take place here as we move forward over the next couple of days, the major races that will take place here on Belmont Stakes weekend. Again, the special venue here at Saratoga once again. The weather forecast a little dicey for Saturday, though. We're going to keep our fingers crossed. Hope the weathermen are bad handicappers this weekend, as right now there's about a 90% chance of rain on Belmont Stakes Day. The Belmont Stakes was drawn yesterday, an 8-horse field, led obviously by the first 3 finishes in this year's Kentucky Derby: Sovereignty, Journalism, and Baeza. And look, this is going to be one heck of a race, matching these 3 back up once again. The weather, the track condition, even if it is off, I mean, all 3 of them face similar circumstances at Churchill Downs on Derby Day, so that might not be as big a factor of it as it might normally have been had none of these horses had any experience with that kind of a racetrack. But still hopeful that we will get a fast track for these 3 to rematch over. And we're going to start with Sovereignty, the Derby winner, who shipped right here to Saratoga almost immediately after winning the Derby at Churchill Downs. And he's done extremely well since he's been up here. Since I've seen him, he seems to have gotten stronger, a little bit more aggressive in the morning, but in a good way. I really loved what I saw of him in his work last week, his penultimate work for the Belmont Stake, working with the Grade 1 winner off his ride and getting the better of him at the end of that work, and doing so pretty easily. I know Bill was all smiles immediately after the work when I spoke with him. Sovereignty came back and turned in a maintenance work here a couple of days ago. Went 4 furlongs in 48 3 out in 101 3. Did it very easily, obviously. I'm not quite sure it's as eye-catching maybe as his final work before the Derby, but when it was with the Derby too, what I saw of him most, what I liked, was not only his final Derby work, but the way he came out of that work and got better and better and better as the week progressed leading up to the Derby. So we will keep an eye on him the next couple of days, but obviously doing very well coming off the Derby win and with the 5 weeks of rest in between. Now, Journalism, as everybody knows, is run in the first 2 legs, will be the only horse to run in all 3 legs of the Triple Crown. I got to be honest, I came here thinking that Preakness might have taken something out of him with the eventful trip, the banging around, and then the big finish at the end. But from what I have seen here, he looks just as good coming into the Belmont as I thought he did going into the Derby. His work here over the weekend, which was going to determine his Belmont status, it didn't take Michael McCarthy very long afterwards to make the decision to put him in the Derby field. Journalism worked on the main track as opposed to most of the others who have done their major work on the training track over at Oklahoma. Journalism went a half mile over in 47 2. Now the main track is a lot faster than the Oklahoma training track when you hear these times. Went 47 2, galloped out in a minute flat, 112 3. It's just the way he did it, just the way he moves, the way he just seems to glide over the ground, and it's just, to me, looks exactly like what I saw from him going into the Kentucky Derby. So obviously, the people that might be a little bit alarmed by the grueling schedule he's had, a little more relieved by seeing what I saw, at least here the other day in that final work for the Belmont. Now, Baeza had a couple of works since the Derby at Santa Anita. The last work I thought was okay. He lugged in a little bit at the end of that work. I don't see a lot of him in the morning. That may just be him. But he had his final Derby prep here, Belmont prep here a couple of days ago. Also over the training track. Went 4 furlongs in 48 and 4, galloped out 102 and 2. He had Flavian Pratt, his rider, aboard, and I thought he kept a lot straighter path in that work. It was a maintenance work for him. I thought he looked very good, and obviously he seems to also be doing well, exiting his pretty good effort, I thought, in the Derby. Another horse that worked over the training track the other day. It's funny that all three of these Derby horses that worked at the training track worked a half mile, all within about a fifth of a second of each other. By his Crudo went in 48 and 3. He went in company. I like the way he drew off from his workmate. He did it very impressively. A stakes-winning workmate went 101 and 2, 114. And this also, like journalism work, was a test. Trainer Todd Pletcher waiting to see how he did with this final work before pulling the trigger, giving the green light to enter Crudo. And he liked what he saw. I liked what I saw. So Crudo is now a member of the field, and a key member of the field, as he could be the one horse that could keep Rodriguez a little bit honest on the early pace. Now, Rodriguez obviously was pointing for the Derby. He had a little issue, had to back off in his training. He's had a couple of works at Santa Anita. Looked like he was not only asked a little bit in those work, but asked to go out kind of a stamina-enhancing works. Both of them galloped out a long ways both times. Though both works were good, not anything special. But Rodriguez, his one edge here is his speed, and I think he's going to try to go as far as he can on the front end. Whether he is good enough to maintain that advantage against the likes of Sovereignty Journalism, Baeza, and any of the others still remains to be seen. That is one of the big question marks. Hill Road, I did not see his final work. That was down at Belmont Park. Uncaged, a late addition to the field. He's going to be a big long shot. And Heart of Honor, he's been here for a couple of weeks, really hasn't done much in the mornings. He just goes out there mostly. It takes a long time on the racetrack, jogs, gallops a little bit. He blew out down the lane in 27 and change the other day. He was maybe going to do a little bit more, but as he was breezing down the lane, the warning lights came on indicating there was a loose horse on the racetrack, so his rider had to pull him up a bit prematurely. But the Heart of Honor, another long shot, obviously, coming into the Belmont Stakes. So that's a capsule look at the field as we see it. Still a couple of more days to go. We'll keep an eye on these horses as best we can over the next couple of days. A little harder here at Saratoga than at Churchill when they're right in front of you. We got 2 racetracks here, and things are going on simultaneously at both tracks. Try to run back and forth to see as much as we can when we can, but we'll bring that to you as we proceed. Tomorrow we're going to look at the Met Mile, maybe the Woody Steamans, and a couple other major races here on Saturday. So keep it tuned right here at DRF.com for the best coverage of Belmont Stakes 2025.